Game one of the Stanley Cup Final gave us all the thrills Wednesday night. Oilers capping off that two-goal comeback win with Leon Draisaitl deciding to be the one to send Edmonton into a frenzy. 31 seconds left in OT. He did that. Oilers are making a habit of this. It was their 7th comeback win this postseason. They now have a 1-0 series lead over the Panthers in that Stanley Cup Final. And now it's time to talk more with the final. We bring in our hockey expert, Pierre McGuire. And Pierre, we've had a few nights to sleep since Wednesday night. As you look forward towards Game 2 tonight, what's something you think happened Game 1 that might carry over into Game 2? Either team, you way you want to look at it.
Let's take Edmonton, Zach, number one, and great to visit with you. I think the presence of Evander Kane and how physical Evander Kane was in game number 1, 9 hits in the game. He definitely got the attention of the Florida Panthers. He out-Florida Panthered the Florida Panthers, which is hard to do because that's their organizational identity in Florida. So the one thing that really stood out to me was the physicality of the Edmonton Oilers, but in particular, Evander Kane. He made a big impact on game 1.
You look at the Panthers, the way you lose that, and you're feeling good when you're up by 2 goals, and then, oh, one goes away, another goes away, then you lose in OT. Do you worry at all about their ability to rebound from this, or are they solid?
No, I'm not worried about it at all, and I don't think they are either, Zach. Quite frankly, when you think about the Florida Panthers, what they've done, when they lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs, their first 2 games in Toronto this season in the 2nd round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, they didn't panic. They came back to South Florida. They got the job done in Game 3. They got the job done in Game 4, and they got the job done in Game 5 in Toronto. So I'm not that concerned about it with them, but here's the biggest thing is they've got to find a way to stabilize this series physically, because if they don't, Edmonton will start to get a little bit more momentum going into Game 3 down in South Florida on Monday.
Yeah, teams that win Game 1 of a Stanley Cup Final in overtime have won 14 of 18 series, so that's good omen, you figure, for the Oilers. What's the key for them tonight to take that 2-0 lead?
The star power has to continue to be the star power, Zach. You talked about Draisaitl and McDavid and how much they impacted Game 1. You couldn't have been more correct. The other part is Stuart Skinner. That's about as well as I've ever seen Stuart Skinner play. In the 2nd period of that game in particular, Stuart Skinner was phenomenal, but the stars came to play. This is a huge turning point in the game. Florida's got a 3-1 lead, and then Arvidsson scores to make it 3-2. And for the Edmonton Oilers, they never look back. You see Evander Kane getting physical, going to the point of attack, and then Matthias Ekholm scores, and there's a game winner by Draisaitl in overtime. The skill, the determination, and the speed of the star players for the Edmonton Oilers made a huge impact in Game 1. If they do the same thing in Game 2, they're probably coming to South Florida with the 2-0 lead.
We've seen Sergei Bobrovsky basically be a brick wall so many times in his career during this postseason run. Had a lot of saves in Game 1, but lets those last ones get through. With that in mind, knowing how he can play and seeing for Game 2, what's key for the Panthers?
They've got to do a better job winning faceoffs. We'll get to Bobrovsky in a second. When they win faceoffs, you got to manufacture offensive opportunities. That's something Florida has to do. But you're right about Sergei Bobrovsky. Here's the biggest thing about Bobrovsky, Zach. He's got this great battle component that is known around the league. So he's going to be disappointed in himself in the fact that they lost in Game 1 and that he gave up at least 1 shaky goal, maybe 2. I think you'll see him be better, but the biggest thing he has to do, he's got to have better rebound control. Too many 2nd and 3rd chance opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers. I think he will do that because his battle levels are so high, but he's a key component for them to come back if it's going to be 1-1.
With the way that Game 1 went, do you change at all your prediction for how you think the series plays out, seeing how that one ended, or are you still feeling the same way that you were before the puck dropped for Game 1?
Great question. I'm feeling the same way. I still think the Florida Panthers will win, and that's probably heresy from where I'm from, north of the border. But that being said, I just think there's too much depth. There's too much depth at center. Bobrovsky is better than Skinner. He hasn't proven it yet in this series, but I think eventually he will. And if they can find a way, Florida that is, to stabilize Evander Kane's physicality, which is what the Florida Panthers are usually good at, I still think Florida will win.
What's the final score tonight?
The final score tonight will probably be 4-2 Florida with an empty netter.
Okay. Empty netter prediction coming in from Pierre McGuire. We look forward to the puck dropping for Game 2 tonight in Edmonton. Pierre, thank you so much. And, of course, that's an 8 p.m. puck drop before Monday rolls around and you get 2 down here in sunny Florida over in Sunrise, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. for all those. And we'll see if Game 5 becomes necessary after tonight.